And I heard a voice that said to me, beware of pimps in the pulpit. Yes. People manipulating the people of God for money. In the days in which we're living in, we have to be attentive to the fact that there are people who will abuse the pulpit. There will be people who abuse their call. There are people who enter into the call not really called by God. There are people who enter into ministry as a profession, but they have not been called by God. There are people who have entered into ministry simply based upon the fact that through the generation, my granddaddy was a preacher, my father was a preacher, and now I have to be a preacher, but they have never received the true, authentic call from God. And so for many people, it's become a profession, a way of gaining income, a way of gaining money, and it's dangerous if you're not careful of the fact that God is really concerned about his worship. Throughout the history of the church, even if you look in the Old Testament, Eli had two sons who slept with the women in the temple, who took the resources, the fat of the meat, the good parts of the meat, and used them for their own personal use, and gave God the fat, the worthless part of the meat, instead of offering to God the good things. They took the good things and put it in their pocket and gave God the lesser things. It reminds you of Cain and Abel. Abel gave God his best. Cain kept the best for himself, and he gave God what was convenient for him. And so we see Jesus in this text upset. And throughout history, there have been men who have stood up against heresies, against abuse of power in the church, against false doctrine being preached in the church. There have been men who have laid their life down to keep the purity of the gospel message. In spite of all the corruption that we see around us. I want you to know something in 2008, that God is about to start turning over tables again. God is about to start turning things over again. And what is done in dark will come to the light.